Hey, I'm Jake. I just turned 20, and guess what? I finally moved into my own house. Okay. My parents did give it to me when I turned 18, but it was super old and kind of falling apart. For 2 years, I worked non-stop, saving money and fixing it up little by little. The house still creaks, the paint isn't perfect, and the yard looks like a jungle. But it's mine, and that makes it awesome. I live at the end of a quiet street in a small town. You know the type: clean lawns, white fences, friendly neighbors waving from porches. Well, I didn't really know any of them. I was always working, fixing something, and never had time to say hi. Also, I didn't have a car. My old mountain bike? That was my car. I'd had it since I was 16 and could fix it with my eyes closed. Fishing pole, but that's when everything changed. One sunny day, I was fixing the bike chain in my driveway. Sweat was dripping down my face. I didn't even hear her footsteps. "Looks like you've got your hands full," a voice said. I looked up, and there she was. She wore a summer dress and sunglasses. Her hair was brown and wavy, and she had this calm, pretty smile. I could tell she wasn't in her 20s, but she had that look, confident, elegant. A kind of beauty you don't forget. Then she said something I'll never forget. "If I were younger, I'd ask you for a ride." Wait, what? I froze. Was she flirting? I smiled and said, "Who says you can't ask now?" She laughed, looked at me with a playful grin, and walked away saying, "Enjoy the ride, neighbor." I stood there like an idiot, just watching her walk around the corner. I didn't even know her name, but wow, she had my brain spinning. A few days passed. I was back to fixing things: the bathroom, the kitchen light, and the lawn that still looked like a jungle. I didn't see her again. Not once. But I kept thinking about her. The way she smiled. The way she said that one sentence like it was no big deal. Fishing pole. Then, out of nowhere, she came back. It was Friday morning. I had just gotten out of the shower when I heard a knock on the front door. I opened it, and there she was, holding a box of donuts. "Welcome to the neighborhood," she said. "Thought you could use a treat." My brain short-circuited. "Wow, thanks. That's really kind." "I'm Elizabeth," she added. "But everyone calls me Liz." I told her I was Jake, and that I'd been too busy fixing stuff to explore the neighborhood. She smiled. "Yeah, I noticed. You're always out here with tools." We laughed, and I invited her in for coffee. We sat at my small kitchen table, sipping coffee and eating donuts. I learned she lived just 4 houses down. She had 2 kids in college and had raised them alone after her husband left years ago. She didn't seem bitter. Just strong. I told her about how I'd been saving money, how I dropped out of college, and how I'd poured everything into fixing this house. "It's not perfect," I said, "but it's mine." She looked around and smiled. "You should be proud, Jake." After almost an hour, she stood up to leave. "Thanks again for the donuts," I said. She paused at the door, looked back, and said, "By the way, I meant what I said the other day." I raised an eyebrow. "About wishing I was younger," she said with a wink. Then she walked out the door. I closed it behind her and leaned my head against it, smiling like a total goofball. The next few days were quiet, but I couldn't stop thinking about her. Then one sunny afternoon, I was outside fixing a broken step on the porch. Fishing pole. I heard soft footsteps again. I looked up. There she was. She wore light jeans, a sweater, and a silver necklace that caught the sun just right. "Hey handyman," she called out. "Still fixing things?" I laughed. "Yeah. I think I'm turning into the neighborhood repair guy." She walked up with that same easy smile. "You're doing a good job. The house looks better every time I pass by." I looked around and said, "Still a lot to do, but hey, I guess I'm a work in progress too." She tilted her head and said softly, "Aren't we all?" There was a pause. Not awkward. Just full of something unspoken. And in that moment, I knew. This wasn't going to be the last time we talked. Not even close.